on fire for Jesus and the unborn.
I get it.
I agree that we don't want to be slandering people or throwing around the neo-Nazi term, but I don't throw that term around. The people who I have accused of being neo-Nazis are neo-Nazis. We're here. It looks like there's a divide between the street. There we have the pro-life people on one side and the pro-abortion people on the other side.
And I'd say, you see that kid in the wheelchair over there? He's in bad shape. God, it's time to end this world.
Hey there everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and I really hope you enjoy this special extra video. I just returned from the March for Life, where I spoke to a lot of different people with a lot of different opinions. Now I know my opinions have been shifting and evolving a bit lately, however, I still consider myself strongly pro-life, so attending the March for Life was a really great experience. So without further ado, let's jump in to some of these interviews. What's up everybody, Hunter Avallone here. We are at the official March for Life, hoping to do some interviews, probably talk to some people we agree with, hopefully talk to some people we don't agree with, and just have a great time. Let's get started. All right, so would you mind telling us what your sign is all about and what brings you out today?
Well, we empower women with our choices that we make, especially with pro-life. And basically, we empower women from the womb.
Very cool. I mean, that's true. It's supported by the statistics that have shown that women who get abortions have a much higher likelihood of developing anxiety, depression, and it raises the suicide risk.
Unfortunately, yes, unfortunately, that's the situation.
So what do you think should be done about abortion? Do you think it's like something that needs to, like personally, I'm against abortion, but I think it needs to change on like an individual basis. I'm not sure any legislation could change abortion. What do you think?
I just believe that God is the owner of life. I have no rights from the life that is in my womb. That's God's life, and I have no right to end that.
My sign says conceived in rape. It is my story. My birth mother was raped, and I represent those exceptions that so many in our political world, when they do their pro-life legislation, are okay adding and saying that my life wasn't valuable and it was okay to terminate my life. But I was innocent. I did nothing wrong. We need to focus on punishing those criminals, those rapists, and leave our innocent lives alone of those babies.
What would be your message to a woman who got pregnant through rape? What would be your message to her today?
You're stronger than you think you are. There is hope, there is healing, and through the life of that beautiful unborn baby that she is carrying, there's DNA, which can put your rapist behind bars.
Absolutely. Death penalty for the rapists, not for the unborn babies, right?
100%.
We believe that in the situation that we're in right now, access to abortion is not about protecting people, because it isn't on so many other levels. What it's actually about is restricting people, particularly women's right to choose.
There was a study done through 1986 to 2005, I believe. They tracked the reasons for abortion, and 98.3% or something up there, right? It was majority of reasons that women are pursuing abortions are for elective reasons. Personally, I believe that there are better ways that we can help, you know, the majority of women who are getting abortions, they're for like financial reasons or they're not prepared to be a mother. I think there are alternatives to that doesn't also require killing an unborn human life.
There are lots of alternatives to situations like abortion. However, as a person who is fortunate enough to not be in a situation where I am in between a woman and her doctor, where I am having to make that choice, I'm going to advocate for those other options on my own time. Today, I'm here to say that I believe in abortion access.
Well, I'm pro-choice, but I'm super pro-birth control. Because if people use birth control, then there's much less need for abortion.
I actually completely agree with you.
Actually, only men can get a woman pregnant. So really, the primary responsibility for abortion, no abortion, comes down to men. No irresponsible impregnation.
You know, it's actually very, like, I am pro-life myself. I'm against abortion, but I strongly believe with your message. I agree that access to contraceptives and, you know, men need to be more responsible. Take personal responsibility for your behavior. I completely agree with that.
Yeah, I am on the same page with you.
I noticed your sign, pro-life, anti-Trump. Can you explain that to me?
Yes, I feel like Trump has been a strong pro-life president, but that doesn't mean he gets carte blanche. And I think the issue that supersedes pro-life is the fact that he is trampling our democracy. We need to stand up and say that's not right. I also feel that he's got issues of personal corruption, so as Christians we need to also point that out because we're salt and light.
It says vaccine mandates violate bodily autonomy.
Okay. So are you against vaccines in general, or are you just against vaccine mandates?
Both. I'm against vaccines and against vaccine mandates.
Okay. Okay, I understand. So why are you against vaccines just in general?
So one of the main reasons why I'm against vaccines is because some of the vaccines, not all the vaccines, contain aborted fetal cells.
Okay.
And I am pro-life, obviously, so I do not think it's okay to inject female and male DNA into the body of a child or an adult.
This is false. According to immunize.org, the production of a few vaccines involves growing the virus in human cell culture. 2 human cell lines provide the cell cultures needed for producing vaccines. These lines were developed from 2 legally aborted fetuses in the 1960s. These cell lines are maintained to have an indefinite lifespan. No fetal tissue has been added since the cell lines were originally created. Some parents are concerned about this issue because of misinformation they have encountered on the internet. 2 such untrue statements are that ongoing abortions are needed to manufacture vaccines, and vaccines are contaminated with fetal tissue.
So are you against all vaccines, even the ones that have been proven safe?
Yes, because they haven't actually been proven safe, yes.
How so?
Because there has actually not been a safety study on the current vaccine. There has not been a safety study in over 30 years.
Okay, cool. Do you think vaccines cause autism?
Yeah, I think that plays a part in it. I'm a speech therapist and I work with children, and I have had multiple parents report to me that their child basically regressed within hours or overnight after getting their 12-month round of vaccines. So I do think there is something to it. I don't think that vaccines are the only cause of autism. I think that's part of it, yes.
Don't you think that's a little anecdotal? I mean, the study that found vaccines cause autism was actually retracted by the man who did the study.
How many people did that study?
There were only, I think, 10 participants, opposed to a newer study that analyzed over 100,000 kids and found that they didn't cause autism.
I don't think it's the only thing. Like I said, I do think there's other things. There's, chemicals in our food and in our air and in our water. It's a lot of things. But I cannot deny the amount of parents that have told me that they have seen their child regress within hours of having vaccinations, most often at the 1 year round.
In what way did God communicate that to you? Did he come down and was it through a scripture, a story?
Okay, now I shouldn't repeat this. He said, if I lent my belly button to suck it out with a vacuum cleaner, don't use a vacuum cleaner for an abortion. But it's such a bad world, I shouldn't bring a child, or no one should bring a child into this world. Romance is the only thing we have, and it's very easy to have a child. People don't set out to have children, you know what I mean? But he said abortion is really the lesser of evils, and it's better than bringing a child into this world.
I gotta say, I honestly disagree. I definitely respect you, and I think life is definitely joyful and worth living. I definitely respect you coming out and sharing your opinion. I also respect that you've lived a lot longer than me. You've experienced a lot more life. But I don't believe God told you that. I think that God is against abortion. And I'm not saying it's not a nuanced issue. I don't think it's true that bringing someone into the world is the lesser of 2 evils. And I don't think it's for us who are already living to decide that someone isn't worthy of getting a chance to live the life.
Well, certainly it's a bad world, and we should avoid bringing people into this bad world. It's a painful and terrible world. And certainly we should try to use other forms of birth control. It's not a good world to bring anyone into.
Now, as I was walking around, I was actually confronted by an ex-fan who accused me of being a grifter before just running away. I later found him and tried to resume our discussion.
Hey buddy, how's it going? You want to finish up our talk from earlier? All right, because you kind of ran away pretty quick. Right?
Well, if we're going to do the boomer thing here on the streets of...
The camera died. Sorry, man.
Oh, well,
not my fault.
Well, hey, it's all right.
So tell me why...
Be better.
Okay, gotcha. So what makes Nick Fuentes not a neo-Nazi?
Well, here's the thing. I disagree with a great number of things that Nick thinks. But at the end of the day, you, as somebody that has positioned yourself on the right, you are making an exceedingly dangerous accusation. Like, sure, how many years were you sitting there on YouTube? And I watched, and I was a big fan for a long time, Hunter. Okay. But at the end of the day, like, I'm really disappointed in you to be sitting here going and
for being against what? What are you disappointed with me for?
For so liberally throwing around neo-Nazi. I believe like you.
I'm actually very, very cautious with that term. I do not label everyone a neo-Nazi. For example, I wouldn't label you one.
Well, I would certainly.
I don't know.
But I do this for both sides when I see guys that are running around alleging to stand for, you know, free association and free speech. Again, very liberally throwing around.
So you called it slander when I called him a neo-Nazi. So I want to know what makes him not a neo-Nazi.
You have to understand, but if we're going by something that you know, in the court of public opinion, the burden of proof is on you to suggest that somebody is.
Well, for one of the big ones, I think he's a Holocaust denier.
Okay, but does that make him a neo-Nazi?
It's pretty close, yeah, and he's also, I mean, he believes in the Jewish conspiracy, the Jewish question, right? Yes.
Okay, well,
so those are some core neo-Nazi beliefs.
I got into this, you know, many years ago when it was guys like you and Sargon of Akkad, and back in the day, you know, it was that whole old crew, and, you know, these armored skeptic guys, you know, and, you know, because I really appreciated that, you know, I saw something bubbling up, and it was, you know.
What'd you see bubbling?
Bubbling up was this contention on the left that, you know, slandering people and, you know, needlessly lobbing names out there.
I agree. Listen, I agree that we don't want to be slandering people or throwing around the neo-Nazi term, but I don't throw that term around. The people who I have accused of being neo-Nazis are neo-Nazis. So if that's substantiated
Isn't
by...
that exactly what the left says?
No, because I'm substantiating the claim. For example, I don't think people who support Trump are neo-Nazis. I don't think people who want, you know, restrictions on immigration are neo-Nazis. Sure. But I think that people pushing a Jewish question conspiracy theory, questioning the numbers of deaths, yes, questioning the numbers of deaths in the Holocaust, you must have seen that clip. Come on.
Well, like, again, I'm not an internet sycophant. I'm not on for all of these things, but I just...
Well, maybe next time before you accuse someone of slander, you should actually know what you're talking about.
Because, Hunter, this is the reason that you can understand why I'm trigger happy about calling anybody that, is because when was the last time... And again, you've been a victim of this. They do the same thing to you.
I don't care. I'm calling Nick Fuentes a neo-Nazi because he holds neo-Nazi positions. You have yet to refute that. You can't accuse me of slander and then not refute the claim.
But again, like, neo-Nazi too is, it's just, I don't know, you can call him, you know, far right or something like this if you really wanted to, but like
that's the neo. But wait. So then, what do neo-Nazis believe? Are neo-Nazis even real?
I mean, of course they're real. I would say. I mean, like Christopher Cantwell, who was just arrested, I think, like a day or two ago, which kind of funny, but
right.
yeah.
Right. So if he holds neo-Nazi positions, what am I supposed to take from that?
Listen, my thing is this: I would like you to have the conversation with him. I really would, because I think
he's an extremely bad faith actor, and he's mostly in it for clout. That's why I'm not wasting my time debating him.
I mean, like, this is, I don't.
No, I'm not only I'm not in it for clout. If that's what you're suggesting. No, look, I understand the position you're taking. You don't want me to be too you don't want me to liberally be throwing around the neo-Nazi term, and I agree with you. I don't label everyone.
Right? Let's not become the very thing.
I don't label but I don't label everyone a neo-Nazi. There are certain neo-Nazi organizations or people who hold neo-Nazi ideals that I should be able to call like I see it.
Absolutely.
All in all, this ended up being a really interesting day, and although the event wasn't nearly as confrontational as other events I've covered in the past, it was still really cool being surrounded by some like-minded people and a few idiots with bad ideas. As a new father, abortion is something that's really important to me personally, so it was really cool getting the chance to actually attend this rally. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please give this video a like, comment below, and subscribe to my channel. See you all soon. Peace.